Ishani Debnath is a trailblazer. How do you feel being here for this podcast with CBSE?
It was truly, it's I can't believe I'm here. I'm really thankful.
How did you feel when you first saw your result?
I was definitely expecting a good result because I had been working towards it.
What was your study schedule like? How did you plan your days?
I didn't study for a set number of hours.
A lot of students your age also face a lot of distractions. How did you steer away from all of that?
If we're talking about social media, I never had an account to begin with.
A lot of people would have told you, why are you doing this? Why are you not going towards science? You have that aptitude. What was your response to such people?
Well, I decided to do what I wanted and I had my family's support.
One thing out of the syllabus you've learned in this 1 year journey of your 12th grade.
It's one thing I learned which wasn't in syllabus was how to work in a team.
Namaskar and warm greeting to all our viewers. In today's podcast, we have someone whose exceptional academic performance has taken the country by storm. Ishani Debnath is a trailblazer, a student of DPS Bhopal, Ahmedabad. Her dedication, commitment, and passion for learning has achieved her a perfect 500 out of 500 in the CBSE Class 12 board examinations. Her story is nothing short of an inspiration for both students and educators alike. We are so happy to have her with us here today. So, a warm welcome to you, Ishani, and many congratulations for your success.
Thank you so much.
So, let's dive into the conversation today. How do you feel being here for this podcast with CBSE?
It feels surreal. It's a humbling experience. I had only seen CBSE on paper, like seeing the building. It was truly, it's I can't believe I'm here. I'm really thankful.
Well, you've done well and you achieved this. So, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
How did you feel when you first saw your result? Was it something that you were expecting?
I was definitely expecting a good result because I had been working towards it. But seeing 100 out of 100 score in all 5 subjects, I had to log out and log in a couple of times to get to know like what's happening. Like I couldn't believe that it had happened.
See, so it's natural that you worked very hard for this. So, what was your study schedule like? How did you plan your days?
I didn't study for a set number of hours. I planned ahead and made a daily schedule, and I aimed to complete all that I had set in my mind for that day within that time period. And I did it for every day, and that is how I completed my course in ample amount of time while also giving attention to each and every topic. My teachers had emphasized on how each student is different and have a unique grasping power. So in 11th grade, I tried out different techniques. So either it's note making or you're making flow charts and testing out audiovisual material. And finally, after experimenting in grade 11 and learning which method suited me the best, I applied it in grade 12 from day 1 and was consistent throughout. I would suggest my routine included studying the NCERT textbooks from cover to cover and making notes in detail. My teachers were also a guiding force in my academic journey. I had a close rapport with them, and so after studying in school, I would go home, revise, and clear any doubts I had with them. And I didn't go to any coaching or any tuition. Used to go to school every day and be punctual.
That's so wonderful. So, tell me one thing, because you're from an humanities background and the subjects are very subjective. So, did you plan your way of studying these subjects in a certain way? And that's perhaps how you cracked 100 out of 100 in subjective subjects as well?
Yes, after entering 11th grade, all the subjects were new to me, and I did struggle. Like the initial couple of months were, I struggled in those months. But then I realized I had to open the textbook, read word by word, understand what they're trying to say, make your own notes, and then practice. Practice the questions. I used to practice the questions. I used to give them to the teachers for evaluation, because there's a difference between knowing and putting it down on paper. So it's very important to practice, and that is what helped me tackle with these descriptive subjects.
So consistency is key, you're saying, right?
Yes.
That's wonderful. So tell me one more thing. How did you come to the decision of taking humanities in grade 11th? What influenced you?
So in grade 9, my parents told me to think about what stream I would like to choose after grade 10. So before the grade 10 exams, they told me to make up my mind what I needed to pursue. And in ninth and 10th grade, I realized that I had an affinity towards the social studies. I had an affinity towards social studies, which is the humanities stream. So I opted for that.
That's nice. So, one more thing I want to understand from you, the moment a student steps into grade 12th, right, there's a lot of pressure, whether it is internal, whether it comes from your parents, or whether it comes from the school about doing well, about planning for your future. Were there any days you felt like maybe you were losing motivation or you were facing any challenges? And how did you overcome those kind of challenges?
Yeah, there are definitely days where you feel low. So what I used to do was I used to take time off, watch movies, go spend time with friends, and then come back to the routine. Also, I remember when we had exams and tests, one after the other, the successive exams and tests at school, our teachers used to share inspiring words and also make us engage in some recreational activities between the study periods to break the monotony, which helped us spring back into action with renewed spirit. And also, when I'm stressed, my mom makes me some dishes, and that is really comforting. So that also
food is
helped
your
me.
comfort.
Yeah, that helped me going.
That's so good to hear. So, how did your teachers support you throughout this journey? Any particular teacher who played a very influential role for you here?
All five of my subject teachers have been a guiding force in my academic life, and also they've always been available for the 2 years, 10 years of my senior secondary, and not only in studies, but they've also helped me enrich and bring about an improvement in my overall personality.
And you know what? We also understand that a nurturing environment at home and supportive parents make all the difference in a student's journey.
True.
What is your take on that?
Yeah, definitely my score in the 12th grade boards wouldn't have been possible without my family's support. My parents, grandparents, and even my brother, they are a source of comfort and reassurance. And so I used to spend time with them, and they've always been very supportive. As a family, we prioritize health and happiness. And my mother said, she tells me to pursue what I love. And my father is of the belief that once you set your mind to do something, you must give your 100% and leave no stone unturned. These are some principles which I try to follow in my life.
So you've actually truly followed through them and very well that too. So any other hobbies or any other activities you used to do to balance, like you said, when it gets too mundane studying continuously, when it gets too much overload with just books, how did you balance your time out that way?
Yeah, I had a few hobbies which helped me refresh. I read books across varied genres. Ruskin Bond and Sudha Murthy are two of my favorite authors, among others. I also watch television with my family. Uh, Apart from that, I doodle and do crafts such as origami. And as a family, we like traveling. So, like for example, the Statue of Unity in Gujarat and several other forts in Rajasthan. Although we did not travel that much this year, but now I'm looking forward to go visit my grandparents in Guwahati for a well-deserved break.
That's so good. So tell me one thing, you have very creative interests, even the fact that you travel a lot and your parents have shown you these places. Did that in some way influence the way you were able to study your subjects or answer? Like, did this creativity show in your study or in your performance also per se?
My creativity helped me tackle the projects at school, especially history and political science, which require you to look beyond the topic, look for patterns, and present graphics and data in a novel way. It also helped me prepare for my Viva, so that is how it happened.
So what are you planning to do in the future now? Now that you've, passed grade 12th with flying colors, what's next for Ishani?
Now I intend to pursue psychology honors from a reputed college in India.
That's very nice. So what influenced you to do psychology?
Psychology at its core is about understanding people, and it has powerful real life applications, whether it be in therapy, in education, or even in everyday life and society. So that is what inspired me to take up
So,
psychology.
was it one of your favorite subjects in school?
Yes, definitely. But I would say I enjoyed every subject, and yeah, I enjoyed learning about it, which may have played a role in my good result.
So tell me one more thing. When we talk about someone who's topped or someone who scored really good marks, there's a lot of myths and misconceptions about around these students. Are there any myths or misconceptions you have heard of, and perhaps you would like to break for our audience, for our students who are watching this podcast?
Yes, there are misconceptions. There's a myth that toppers study for 24 hours a day, are very dull outside of their academic pursuits, and have no social life. But that is not true. Uh, Studying for 24 hours a day without any break, without a wink of sleep, is as useless as, spending your time in leisure all day. So, what makes a topper is self control and time management. Finding a balance between the two, work and play, is what can help you score better.
That's wonderful. Tell me one more thing. Now that you have achieved this milestone, the score that you've achieved, your exceptional academic performance is truly commendable. But what does success mean to you now? What is it that you're looking forward to now?
Well, success means achieving what you have set out to do, and I like taking it step by step. So now, after the grade 12th board result, success for me would be getting into one of the top colleges in India, and then probably later in life a fulfilling career to make my family and my alma mater proud.
Wow, that's very nice. Tell me one more thing. If Ishani, who has just passed grade 12, had to talk to Ishani, who was back there in grade 10th, still thinking, Aage kya karna hai? What does the future have ahead for me? What would you say to her?
I would tell her to remain confident and not doubt herself, because choosing humanities after a good score in grade 10 is a road less traveled, and you may feel a bit unsure and apprehensive at first, but slowly as time passes you'll realize you have taken the right decision, and studying these subjects will renew your passion, and later on you'll end up setting an example for others.
So that is a beautiful example for others, that trust yourself, find your passion, and then nothing can stop you. I'm sure when you would have chosen humanities after being a high scorer in science as well, a lot of people would have told you, why are you doing this? Why are you not going towards science? You have that aptitude. What was your response to such people?
Well, I decided to do what I wanted, and I had my family's support. I had the school support. So what they said didn't really matter. Starting from ninth grade, my school gave me perspective about the different career opportunities by planning internships, giving various sessions by professionals. And this made me realize that I wanted to choose humanities. It was my passion. And I'm glad that I got this opportunity, because not many schools provide the humanities stream. So I would urge students as well as teachers to give a focus on this, and there are many avenues which open up in this stream as well. I remember in 10th grade, not many people were choosing humanities, so I was a bit unsure whether I am going in the right direction or not. But I believed in myself, I believed in my passion, and I followed it, and this is the result.
So, a lot of students your age also face a lot of distractions from social media, then there's peer influence. How did you steer away from all of that?
So, if we're talking about social media, I never had an account to begin with, and I didn't start one. I never felt pressurized to be validated on the internet. So, I eliminated it in the starting itself, so that was not a problem. And I did watch television. I'd set aside time for television, and I practiced self regulation. So, that was never a problem. So, uh, while I studied, I also had a certain screen time.
That's very nice. So, one more thing I'd like to ask you. You've learned so much through these 2 years, right? So much of understanding of different concepts, different theories, so much of syllabus you've absorbed. One thing out of the syllabus you've learned in this 1 year journey of your 12th grade that you would also like to share with your other students, with your fellow students.
It's one thing I learned which wasn't in syllabus was how to work in a team, especially uh, being the group leader for the projects. I learned how different people have different opinions and how to integrate them for the collective benefit of the group. I learned to value collaboration over competition. This helped me become more emotionally intelligent, patient, and also build up endurance for stress and conflict.
Wow. So, your one word of advice as we end our podcast here, just one word of advice for all the students, even teachers, who see students going through this one tough year of 12th grade and students who are sometimes struggling, but students are also looking forward happily to the future. One advice for them that you'd like to give.
Well, I like to tell students that when you look at a board result, you should be happy by your performance. Nothing else matters. There should be no regrets. So work towards it, keeping this in mind. And later in the future, when you're filling out forms with a grade 12 result, happy memories should come in mind. And that's all I wish to convey.
That's so lovely. I mean, I feel so inspired just listening to her today. And I'm sure all students out there can also imbibe the same confidence and the same passion that she has for learning and for her journey in life in there. So, Ishani, thank you so much for joining us. It was truly such a pleasure to speak to you. I feel like I've gained so much from her today. So, thank you so much for coming. Thank you.